everyone, it's Anne here at long last. I must apologise for my MIA, but I'm sure you'll believe me when I say it was because Kerry and Rain have been such slackers recently that I've had to do everything myself, from sourcing all the materials and making the digis and doing the packing and posting and running the shop. So I know you'll understand. I'm going to get into so much trouble. Anyway, I'm back. I had an idea. Now, I like to bring you something that's different, that not everybody's making or have made at some point, but it's hard because trying to keep coming up with new things is just about impossible. But I had an idea, and I found this the other day. It's what's left of a one of those hanging files that you see in drawers, in the kind of a vintagey type thing where you had these hanging files on a metal strip. Anyway, I have got some of these and I decided that they were perfect for my idea. So hopefully it will work out. These are printed on one side but plain on the other. But I like them because they're that lovely vintagey green officey looking colour. I've already cut out 2 pieces of that and 2 pieces of tea dyed paper the same size. What I'm going to need as well is a little strip. I'm just going to cut it here with my knife and a ruler. I'm going to need a strip. Now the strip needs to be as long as your book is wide. So say this was your journal. This is just a little book I've been tearing pages out of. Say this was your journal and you want them on this page. You would make your strip to fit the width of the book, and the little booklets are going to have to be, if you want 2, they need to be narrow enough, or the size so you can fit the 2 on the page. You could make 3 little ones, or you could make just 1 if you wanted to. I'll leave that up to you to decide. Anyway, you'll see what I mean as we go. So I'm going to need a little strip, so let's make the strip. This is my book. So I'll use this end. I'll cut a strip off there, and I'll do it about 1 centimetre wide. Okay, and I'm also going to need a couple of other pieces. These are, let me see, approximately 8 centimetres, not quite. So the piece in the middle, I'm going to make it about 3 centimetres. So let's make up the little books first and then you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to fold that in half, and the cover. Give them a nice crease. I'll probably end up trimming them up because once you put pages inside a piece of card, you get that page creep where they hang out the sides. That's alright, we can trim them up as we go. Right, now I'm not going to use any staples or stitching. What I'm going to do is, oh, I've got to need a little piece, extra piece. Where are we? what did I say? 3 centimeters. It doesn't have to be exact. You can make them any size you want, but this little strip has to fit into a slot that we're going to cut into this card. So whatever size you make your slot, make the card to fit. Alright, so I've got these two papers and the card backing. Just going to put them together, and with my little other piece I'm going to lay it approximately in the middle where I want it, and because I can see the crease, you probably can't see where the fold is on the camera, but I can see it here, and I'm just going to mark either side of that card piece, and then using my knife and ruler, make sure I get the ruler on the crease. Just going to slice all the way through those 3 layers together. And then hopefully this will fit. Yeah. Okay, that's one. Let's do the other one. Alright. Okay, now before I go any further, I want to go around the edges with some, I'll take that out for a sec, just make them look a bit older. Okay, my little pad is shedding, I might have to get a new one. Right, okay, so we've got our 2 little notepads or notelets, 2 little pieces for the fit in the slit, and the strip. I'll just go over that one as well while I'm doing them. Alright, now the idea is to put these through the slit. You're actually putting them together using the minimal amount of glue, because there's no stitching or staples, and on the tiniest bit of glue. Alright, so I've got the 2 like that, and I'm going to slide this through here. Okay. I'm going to just secure this with a bit of glue. Only need the tiniest bit, and I'm just going to slide it back on itself. Just put a tiny bit of glue in, and then just maneuver it back underneath. Same with this one. Oops. And make sure that a strip is right up to the top here, so that it's level, it's all in one line. Then we can level up the little notelet, find the middle, open up the piece of card, just fold it back on itself, apply a little bit of glue both sides just to hold that down there. Seems a bit of a fiddle. I'm sure there's an easy way of doing it, but I'm all fingers and thumbs today. But you'll see the idea of what I'm trying to do. Is to hold it all together with these little cardboard tabs. Okay. Now, as I thought, I've got them showing out the bottom because of the fold of the card, so I'm just going to trim those up. Same with this one. Alright, so what I've got now is these two little notelets on this strip, which is the width of my page. And so now I'm just going to decorate them. I'll just grab something to decorate them with. I've got this fall invoice here. Okay, now I'm not going to cut it, I'm going to tear it. These were just over 2.5 by 4. So let's take this off, I don't want all that white space. Now 2.5, we just make it less than 2.5 so it doesn't hang over the edge. So about there. So that needs to be about yay long. I might as well use that piece on that one, which really just needs a tad off the bottom. Okay, go around the edges. I like the torn edge. It's not as harsh as using the scissors on these older looking vintagey things. Look a bit more worn. Okay, a little bit of glue. And this strip I cut off, although it's not wide enough for me to tear a raggy edge. Let's try this. We could probably even find one that's got a word on it or something. Yeah. If you haven't got a document like this or something to use that's similar, you can just make your own using some blank paper and some stamps, of course. But I'm using the Digi because the words are already printed and I can just cut them out. And this is stock. See if we can find another one. Sorry, I've got out of the habit of telling you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, so hopefully you'll just be able to see from what I'm doing what what to do. And stick that one on there. Alright, you can make them as decorative or as plain as you like, of course, but we'll stop there. I think that looks quite oldie worldy, and it's useful because you've got the little pages you can write on or stamp or do something on there, and we made it so that it will fit on your journal page like that. If it's too long, which this one is a little bit too long, you can always trim it off. Okay, and then attach it with some paper clips or some glue, so you've got these hanging notepads. Alright, well, I hope that wasn't too bad for somebody who's a bit rusty. I will endeavour to make the next one as soon as possible and get back into the swing of things. In the meantime, I thank you very, very much for watching, and I hope you attempt to make some of these as I've done. I'm attempting to make one, and I'm sure that once they're in the book, they'll look a lot better. Alright, have fun crafting, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks, bye bye for now.